Hey everyone, thanks for taking the time to watch another video on the Stony River channel. Today I'd like to talk about snowshoes, specifically a pair that I picked up I think 2 or 3 years ago. I think this is the third winter season I've used them, and that would be the Tubbs Flex STP snowshoe, 24 inches long. They also make a 28-inch one, apparently. That's for people heavier than 200 pounds. This one's, I think, rated for between 120 to 200. That fits in my weight range. I wanted to get a smaller snowshoe because I do a lot of hiking on trails. And the other snowshoes I had, which were big, clunky, military surplus magnesium, super long snowshoes, really weren't necessary once there's some degree of packing that occurs in the trail. So these are a little smaller, and you can kind of really fly with them on trails, although they do perform pretty well in somewhat deep unpacked snow as well. So once again, this is the Tubbs brand Flex STP 24-inch model. I'll just talk about some of the features before I show you how it looks in live action. So it's mostly plastic, which is pros and cons. It's really flexible, hence the name of the Flex, and they call this the torsion deck, which kind of allows you to remain stable in unstable conditions. So it's got a lot of flex to it. However, it is plastic for the most part. As far as the bindings are concerned, we have the quick pull binding here on where you insert your toe of your boot in, and it has a buckle that kind of releases quite quickly, and I'll show you that in action. And then on the back end there's an adjustable strap, and of course it rotates like any normal snowshoe should. So you have that adjustable binding in the back and in the toe with the quick release buckle. And then as far as grips on the back, there's these side rails. You can see that grip into the snow, as well as a toe crampon to allow you to, I guess, dig in for grip. That's probably most important when you're going up or down hills, more so than just on flat ground, but it is quite helpful to have that metal grip. Those, once again, the side rails and the toe crampon. And these are, so Tubbs is a pretty reputable brand. And if you know of any other really good snowshoe brands, please throw them out there in the comments. But some Tubbs can run you several hundreds of dollars. This is a budget. I should make this very clear. This is like the budget of the budget Tubbs snowshoe. I just didn't have a lot of money at the time, didn't want to invest several $100s in snowshoes. So these were like right around $100. So you can go a lot more expensive and fancier and higher quality, but I put this through pretty much 3 years of abuse. Shouldn't say abuse, at least 2.5 years of quality use, and I've had no issues with like the cracking or whatever of the plastic or anything like that. So yeah, there's some flexibility. It's kind of a nice binding system there, and then good grip on the bottom side, both with the side rails and the toe crampon. So let's see how these fit on the foot, and then we'll see how they perform in the woods. I'll demonstrate how to put the snowshoe on your boot. Normally I wouldn't advise doing this indoors because the traction rails and the toe crampon can scratch flooring, etc. Now this 24-inch Tubbs Flex STP model suggests that the sizing is, I guess in men's feet sizing, I think it's 8 to 13. Size is 8 to 13 now. Depending on what boots you're wearing, of course that's going to make that a little bit more variable. But basically the putting it on starts with just inserting your toe into the front part of the binding with that quick pull release buckle that they feature. I have it all the way pulled out, so I'm just going to put my toe in to the front part of the binding as far as I can put it forward. And they are labeled right and left foot. Not exactly sure the specifics of why that's different, but there, I have my toe inserted all the way into the the front of the binding. I'm going to pull this a little bit just to tighten it, but not cinch it all the way. So the back part of the binding is a plastic strap that fits around your heel. And it's much like a belt where you just, it has different holes to accommodate for different sizes. So you just pull it as tight as you prefer. And at that point, it's kind of up on my heel. And then I'm going to go back to that quick pull binding and cinch it down again on the front, just by simply pulling this. And that is very attached to my foot now. So let's take this out in the woods and see how it looks in real live action.
So here are the Tubbs STP Flex, or I should say Tubbs Flex STP snowshoes, 24 inches. And yeah, I'm wearing bean boots, LL bean boots, as my footwear that's associated with them. And I find that they fit pretty well in this kind of snowshoe, very lightweight snowshoe made mostly of plastic. I have like a military surplus muckluck sort of boot that's much warmer than these, but I feel like it's a little smushed in the bindings. So I tend to wear these bean boots, which aren't the warmest boots, but if you're moving and it's not super cold, I find them pretty enjoyable. So here's like a somewhat pre-packed path, kind of show how it looks to hike in these on a somewhat packed snowshoe trail. And you can really fly with them. I'm not going very fast because I'm trying to film this too, but you can really fly in these snowshoes because they're so lightweight and pretty small, especially when the trail is packed down to a certain degree. So now we're moving through deeper snow. Maybe has been packed down only one time this year. Yep, they still kind of float on the surface. I mean, obviously the deeper the snow is, the longer you would want your snowshoes, but these budget level, mostly made of plastic, relatively short snowshoes still handle this pretty well. Now, we're not in 3 feet of snow here. It's really a low snow year, early in the season, but probably wouldn't be the most ideal pair of snowshoes if you were, say, like blazing a trail in the bush when there's 4 feet of snow on the ground. But if there's, you know, an intermediate level of unpacked snow, or especially if you're on a trail that gets packed, these guys are awesome, I think. And this is, I want to say year 3 that I've had them, and they've held up quite nicely.
So the metal crampons on the bottom of the snowshoe allow you to grip into hills, and you might need to kind of turn your feet sideways, kind of like a herringbone, I think is the phrase, which you would see in cross-country skiing. But the metal crampons are nice on these snowshoes, and they allow you to grip into the hill.